So, welcome to our Thursday night Empowering Healthy Women Zoom get together call. However, you're here, just glad that you're here. And I'm JoJo Bennington, and I am a certified nutritional consultant and working on mindset and belief and how our health doesn't just encompass, what our scale says, but what runs through our mind every day, what passes through our lips every day. So those things that have the biggest part of that. And so a couple of weeks ago, one of my partners and I, Liddy, were talking about how women are, we have lots of things going on, but we don't take the time to really just plug in and talk about what we need to talk about to help ourselves every day and fill ourselves up. And we're so busy, we run, we take care of everyone else, and we don't stop to take care of ourselves. And so the reason that we're here is to take 30 minutes and fill our own cup. Because we know that no matter what, we cannot serve and fill others at the level that we want to if our cups are not full first. And so I'm glad that you're all here and taking the time to take your little 30 minutes for yourself and to plug into this sisterhood, this community that we are building, to just have this 30 minutes every week to chat about our stuff. And so thanks so much for hopping on tonight. And just so you guys know, these are recorded and we do put them out for public view. So if there's anybody who doesn't want to be seen, or your name and stuff will not be on the recording, your phone numbers will not be on the recording, but your faces will. So if you don't want to be seen, then you can shut your video camera off and just be here for now. So, and that's totally fine. So we'll be bouncing around with different topics. And so last week we talked a little bit about menopause and hot flashes, and the week before that we talked about thermography versus mammography. And so if you want to go back and listen to any of those, they're all recorded and out on YouTube. And this week, it's just funny that we were supposed to have a guest on tonight, and our guest will be here next week. But so there's this thing that's been a constant regenerating cycle every single day. I've been hearing the same thing over and over and over. It's a duplicate conversation of limiting beliefs and the things that we say to ourselves, and how toxic our mindsets can be to our own space. And so when we're looking, we spend a whole lot of time looking out and taking care of the kids and taking care of the hubbies and our partners. And what we don't do is sit back and really feed ourselves. We take care of everyone else, and then we sit back and a lot of times say things to ourselves that aren't too nice. We look in the mirror, I'm too fat, my butt looks big in these jeans, I can't stand the way my hair looks, look at, my skin, look at, there's so many things that we say to ourselves that I could never do that. That's great for you, but I could never do that. I don't have those skills. I'm not smart enough. I'm not talented enough. People won't believe what I have to say. I mean, there's so many things that we could go through that really deal with that mindset. And toxic beliefs like that poison our success, and a lot of that has been passed down from things that our parents told us. And did they really want to give us toxic thoughts and make us feel bad about ourselves? No, that wasn't their intention. A lot of times they were just trying to protect us. They were just trying to keep us from things that they thought would potentially hurt us. Or they were taking the fears that had been instilled in them and instilling them in us. And, we don't love them any less for that. We just know that they were doing the best that they could. And unfortunately, some of the things that they passed down to us don't serve us so well, right? So, and now it's a good notice for us as we have children of what we pass on and instill in our kids, right? because like I hear my mother's voice coming out of my mouth where I said, no, I would never say that. You know, as you're growing up, you're never going to, I would never act like you. I would never say the things that you say. And then you get older and you sound just like your mom. Right? It just happens naturally. But, you know, I believe that the only limits are the limits that we believe. And so think about that. So the only limits that we have are the limits that we believe. So if you think about that in a grand sense, do you really have any limits? Could you achieve everything that you want to achieve? So I'm just curious, and I think we should just have a little interactive play tonight if you guys will play along with me. And I want to make sure that everybody on the phone, I'm going to unmute everybody on the phone. And so if you guys will mute yourselves on your side, then you'll be able to share and talk, but know that you're unmuted on my side. So just hit mute on your phone or whatever, and you'll be fine. But who does everybody have limiting beliefs? Do you think that maybe you think bad things about yourself, or think that you're not capable or worthy of things? Anybody? Because if you do, I would love to, you know, like one of mine, and I'll share one of mine. You know, my limiting belief is that, you know, I've been successful in what I'm doing. But I can't duplicate that success, or I can't teach someone else how to be successful like that. Like those are the things that go through my head of, I won't be able to do it again. And how crazy, right? Because I've done it once. I've done it more than once. I've done it multiple times. I've been successful in everything I've ever tried to do. So why would now be any different? Why would this be any different? So where does that, I don't even know where that comes from. It's just a crazy thing that little drunk monkey inside my head says to me. But there's lots of things that, I mean, outside looking in the mirror and not liking the way my legs look, or, you know, not liking the way my skin looks at 52 years old, or, you know, those things that I start to put myself down about. So I'm just going to ask you guys, what are some of your thought processes or limiting beliefs? So I know I'm not the only one out there feeling some craziness going on. So it'd be great for us to just have a little bit of a dialogue, and maybe we could help each other through some of the things that we're thinking or feeling. Who's first? You guys are all tough, strong women.
JoJo?
Yeah.
This is Sarah.
Hey, Sarah. How are you?
Hey. Good. So I'll go first. That I can't talk to people. And especially with, you know, sharing the business and everything. I talk to people all day long, and that's my job. So that's one thing I tell myself, is I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to approach them.
So what about that statement can you turn around? Can we help her turn that around so she can think differently? Can you just think right off the top of your head how we could, because and I believe in order to change the limiting belief, in order to change that dialogue that continues on, is that at any time it crops up, we immediately have to throw an antivirus mantra at it, right? So I can't talk to people. Switch that
around. I turn around and tell myself I can talk to people. I do talk to people. I mean, I tell myself that, but then, you know, trying to approach somebody, or I get almost nauseated from the, you know, the nerves and the anxiousness.
So I'm just going to throw something out there, and if anybody wants to like help out or chime in, then please do. But I would just like to throw out there that perhaps just switching it to the opposite of I am good at talking to people, maybe to go deeper of I am comfortable. I'm so comfortable when I talk to people. I'm so comfortable in it. Yeah, I am so good at connecting and so comfortable, and it just comes natural. So instead, you know, thinking that way instead of thinking I can talk to people. I can talk to people. I can to make it a little deeper instead of just
Yeah.
really surfacey.
I like that. Thank you.
So I read a book recently, and it said in there that when you're nervous or when you get those butterflies or you feel stressed or anxiety over something, that if you just switch that to saying, I'm excited about this, and those feelings are because I'm excited, not because I'm nervous, that can change everything, because your body reacts the same way to that anxious feeling as it does to being excited. So your heart will start to race, your emotions start to fly. Sorry, my kids decided to join me tonight.
Aw, that's okay.
But yeah, your body responds the same way, whether you are nervous and scared or excited and happy. So that was something that I learned, and I thought that was pretty amazing. That when so they were kind of talking about, like, if you're getting ready to go on stage, if you're standing back there saying, I'm so nervous, you could change it and say, I'm so excited, and your body is reacting the same way. But if you train your mind to think it's excited instead of nervous, it will change everything. So that was just something awesome I learned.
That's great. I like that. Thank you.
Sarah,
Yeah.
that was Chelsea who just gave that to you. So
Well,
that was
thank you,
great.
Kelsey.
That was great. Thanks, Chelsea. Does that help, Sarah? And I know that there's probably more than one area, but do you feel like that's your main area?
Yeah, I do.
JoJo,
Good.
this is
And I'm sure I've
Colleen.
got many, many more. But that's the one that's on the top of my head.
Right. Well, we want to hear a report back of if you switch that around to the I am, and I am excited about connecting with people. Let's see how that shifts for you. We want to hear the outcome.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Good. Thank you.
It's good to hear your voice.
It's good to hear yours and be on the call. I mean, I've been on them all, but to interact.
Thank you.
Thank
Colleen? Colleen, was that you chiming in there? How are you?
Yes, good. I just think if we can speak from the heart and be honest, that people are more willing to listen to us.
I agree. I think sometimes with that we think we want to go out and accomplish something, and so maybe we come from agenda instead of coming from authenticity and heart, right? Yeah.
JoJo?
I agree. Yeah, who is that?
Sonia?
Hey, you.
Hey, when I talk to people, I get really nervous, and I honestly forget things. Like my mind just goes blank. I have a brain fart. I need to overcome that.
What? And so, do you think that happens because you're feeling nervous, or because?
Yes, I think it's partly nervous and partly like overly excited. I don't want to tell them everything, but at the same time, I'm trying to get enough information to tell them so that they get a little bit excited.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you practice?
I do sometimes, but not. I don't like look in the mirror or anything. I just kind of like talk to myself in my room.
Do you think that the mirror work would help if you practiced in the mirror?
Probably. That probably be a lot better.
Mirror work is sometimes really difficult, especially, I mean, practicing is great. Just to like stand back in the mirror and, say, I am capable of doing this and I am amazing. And, you talk to yourself in a loving voice instead of the tone that we can't do something.
Right. I think I get frustrated and I just stop, and then I don't like continue. And I need to continue and just, force myself.
So Chelsea's recommendation is to ask questions and then let them talk, so you don't feel like you have to say everything.
Right. And I hear that all the time, and I think, oh, that's so good. Just keep asking questions. And when it comes down to it, I just forget everything. I just like stage fright kind of thing.
So coming up with a really great list of questions and then becoming a master at those would be really beneficial for all of us. I mean, in every situation. I think it's not just in business. It's so good in life and connecting with your kids, with your spouse, with everybody, to be able to ask great questions. And we know that successful people, I mean, there's book after book written on, successful people and learning great questions, right? That's one of John Maxwell's new book, right? It's good leaders ask great questions. So perhaps that could help.
Yeah.
Or get somebody to practice with you. So get a question partner. So many questions you can ask in a row.
That sounds great.
Go back and forth and practice asking questions.
Right.
Till you feel comfortable. I know that no matter what, the more you practice a skill, the better you get at it.
Exactly. That's good advice.
I also feel that when you're coming into a conversation without an agenda, it's a lot easier to talk. And the things that maybe way in the back of your mind that you're going to want to share with them anyways, those will naturally come up in a conversation if you're just being genuine and asking them about themselves and learning more about them. Then the things that you can help them with will come up naturally, and it doesn't feel like you have to know everything. Those things will just be like, oh, I have this that would help with that. And so I don't know, that's just something that's helped me, and I feel like I have more natural conversations and not feeling like I'm pushing something on someone or trying to say what I think they need to hear. It's more just, I don't know, genuine. So that helps.
I love that. Thank you. Does anyone else have a limiting belief that they say to themselves a lot that they want to share? And really it's just so we know that we all have that dialogue that goes on. I have that drunk monkey that runs around my brain and smears his poo-poo all over the sides of the walls of my head, right? Because it's just, we all are like that. And it's good to know that everyone shares that same thing. And when we're having a limiting belief or we have something that we're stuck on that we feel bad about, we have a huge group, a community of sisters who you can reach out to and, say, can you help me get past this thought that keeps running through my head that I'm just not good enough, or I'm just not worthy enough, or I'm not pretty enough, or whatever those things are. Anybody else have one they want to share?
So, hey, JoJo, it's Katya.
Sure.
Hey, Katya.
So I have a couple of things. If I can just add on to what we were just talking about. So what I love talking to people. I really do. My challenge is still to detach myself from the outcome of a conversation. So I often go into a conversation with an expectation that something specific needs to happen. What I've been saying to myself also is, I love talking to people, and people love when I talk to them. Because I've had so many people in the last, still there, it kind of disappeared on me.
We're here.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Because I had now 3-4 people in the last week reach out to me and say, thank you so much for sharing this valuable information with me. So that really gives me encouragement to keep doing it, but also just for me to say, not only do I love talking to people, but people love it when I talk to them. And if I go with that into a conversation, it makes it so much easier to me.
I love that. Just to have the objective of connecting as your end result is to make a great, impactful connection. If that's the objective going in the beginning, how great is that? then there doesn't have to be agenda attached to it. I love it. Thank you.
And my limiting belief right now is that I don't look the part.
Uh-oh. Hang on a second. You froze on us. Let's see if it'll catch up. Wait a minute. You're frozen. Can you hear us?
Cop out.
Can you hear us, Katya?
Yes.
We didn't hear anything that you just said. I'm sorry. You shared your whole limiting belief, and now you have to do it twice.
Oh.
Sorry about that. You froze on us. So hold still, or shut your screen off, and maybe that'll give you some more bandwidth to work with.
That's the practice part now, right? That's the practice part now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll
have to do it again. Better?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Much.
Okay, I think I shut my screen off. So what I was saying is I'm in the in business with a nutritional company, and that I don't always feel that I look the part to be talking to people about nutrition. Now, of course, I know it's not all about how we look on the outside. It's how I feel on the inside, and that is a million times better than I did before. But it's one of those monkeys that keep creeping up on me and keep coming into my head, and sometimes they show up as an excuse, sometimes show up really as I feel discouraged about it. Every now and then it's there to motivate me, but the not so good part takes over most of the time.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Does anybody feel like they can speak to that?
I think that I have some of the same issues going on. I have gone up and down with my weight, even though I'm still using the nutritional systems. And so then I don't think that people are going to look at me as like I'm the picture of health either. But I know that I feel so much better than I did 15, 20, even 30 years ago.
And so, okay, so let me ask you this. When you're going to talk to somebody about what you have to offer, if you're worried about what they think of you or what you look like or whatever that thing is that is making you feel that way, then whose agenda is on the table if you're thinking that way? So are you worried about them and what their goals are or what their health issues could be that you could help them with? Or are you more worried about what they're thinking of you?
Oh, again, no, I totally get that. I totally know this, and I totally get this. It just doesn't mean that it doesn't still come up, and I have to work constantly of shutting that down.
But you're aware of that.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, so totally awesome, because most of us go through life never being aware that we have control over that being there. And so being able to shift that, which was like what we were saying to Sarah, as soon as that comes up, when you shift that the other way, then immediately, and it could be a ping pong match the entire time you're talking to that person or you're trying to help somebody. But to be aware of that, good for you. And to be able to shift that to a different thought process right away. And I think that going back to taking the focus off maybe what the main line is and going back to the questions helps keep you focused on them instead of being focused on you.
Thank you for coming. I'm gonna go.
You know, it's just like sometimes people, they post their before and after pictures and they have all this great success story that they can tell about themselves. And I just don't have a physical great before and after yet.
And so what you do have is an amazing story, right? I'm assuming that your story is impactful and could be impactful for somebody when you tell it. How many people would like to feel better?
Sure.
And it doesn't, right, Chelsea? It doesn't have to be your story. You have other stories, I'm assuming, around you that you could pull from and utilize in your space that could help you.
Right.
So in using someone else's story, using your, energy story, your sleep story, or it could be anything that is going to be impactful for somebody who's sitting in front of you, when you understand their goals and where they want to maneuver to, then you know what story is going to be you're going to be able to share that's going to be the most powerful. And sometimes it'll be yours and sometimes maybe it won't.
Right.
I know when talking with people, a lot of times, like, we'll ask them what their health goals are. And most of the time, yeah, weight loss is there, but there's a whole list of other things that they're worried about, or even more worried about, that I've experienced, like the energy. Everybody wants more energy. Everybody wants to feel better and just feel like they're healthy. And so I think that sharing that part of your story can be way more powerful than a before and after picture, if it's coming from your heart and they feel that coming from you.
Mm-hmm. You know that we all look at a picture of somebody who's extremely fit and, in a bikini, and we strive to be this thing that isn't who we are. It's not what our body makeup is all about. It's not how our muscles are made up. And we're a completely different individual than a picture that we see. And we put ourselves in a place where we feel like we have to compare and achieve this thing that in any realm of situation is almost impossible for you to become something like that. And so what we want to do is just feel good in our own space and know that at any weight, any size, any direction, no matter how we look, whether my hair looks like this or it's up in a ponytail and I'm wearing a baseball hat, that how I feel and how I look at other people is solely for the purpose, especially when we're looking at business, is solely for the purpose of serving them the best way that I can. And sometimes that will be my story and sometimes it won't. And let's say you were working with somebody who, weighs 600 or 700 pounds. I've never experienced that. I don't know what that's like. But could I pull from a story that I know and share that with them? Could I pull from someone else's experience? And that's all we do. We in every situation, in our family, with our kids, in business and life, we're storytellers. That's what we do. And so to be able to share the best story at the right time be a great story collector, and you'll always have something that's going to fill in the gap for when you're feeling like you can't share your piece. I don't know if that helps. I hope it does.
Yes. Thanks, JoJo.
So Chelsea says we're all beautiful inside and out, and that shines through when you're sharing it. Right? I agree. And so just as a reminder that, we all have these thoughts and emotions, feelings, the I am statements that go on in our brain that don't serve us. And so please remember that when your I ams are going to a negative, to make sure to switch that I am to a positive as soon as possible. And believe it or not, we've gone like 30 minutes. It's crazy how fast it goes around here. But I'm excited so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little Facebook page so we can upload just all the audios that'll be there. And so anybody that wants to be a part of that, I'll just make it a public page so everybody can go in and have them. But at least then they'll be either accessible there. Right now they're accessible on my YouTube, but it'll probably be easier just to have a little page where we can plug them all into. And next week, Beth Hanaszewski is going to be with us, and I'm really excited that that's going to be here. And I guarantee you that'll be the fastest 30 minutes like in history. So be ready, pen in hand, and everybody have an amazing night. Thank you so much for being here. 10 big kisses. Thank you all for sharing.
Thank you, JoJo.
Thank you. Thanks, Chels. Thanks, Katya.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a
Mary.
good night, everybody.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Sonia.
Bye.
Bye, girls.